Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Anthony Carlisle. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, city volunteers assess flood damage and bring food to victims in Indonesia. In our On This Day feature, we look back at Tzuchi's relief efforts in the aftermath of last year's earthquake in Haiti. And we learn how to make Laba congee as staff at Tzuchi's hospitals in Taiwan dish out the rice porridge treat to celebrate a Buddhist festival. First up today, on the first week of 2011, the city of Medan in Indonesia's North Sumatra was hit by days of torrential rainfall which caused flooding that submerged thousands of homes underwater. People were left stranded on their rooftops waiting for help, while the luckier ones were evacuated to emergency shelters. Tzuchi volunteers immediately went to survey the disaster area, bringing with them 500 lunchboxes. Thankfully, the water had receded by Saturday, and residents are now returning to restore their homes.
While some residents wade through the water, others sit on their rooftops. At the beginning of 2011, days of torrential rain left the city of Medan in North Sumatra, Indonesia, flooded. The deluge puts thousands of houses underwater, leaving residents stranded on, while others have evacuated to emergency shelters. A few hours after the flood, Medan city volunteers set out to survey the disaster area and also prepare lunchboxes for the victims.
Medan volunteers had a last-minute event. Seeing the water up to the roofs was shocking. Most of the residents have no clothes and nothing left at home, so we handed out about 500 lunchboxes to 100 households.
Luckily, the water has receded by Saturday. When natural disasters occur, Indonesian residents stick together and help each other out. Meanwhile, non-government organizations such as Tzuchi immediately arrived to begin relief work.
Last May, the governor of China's Sichuan province, Liu Qibao, came to Taiwan to visit some of the schools that were rebuilt by Tzuchi after the 1999 earthquake. On that trip, the governor made friends with schoolgirl Huang Yixin. 2 months after he returned home, he invited the Taiwanese children to take part in a summer camp in Sichuan. Little Huang Yixin prepared gifts from her hometown for her new friend, who wrote her a letter to express his thanks.
On May 26, 2010, Sichuan's provincial governor from China, Liu Qibao, visited Puli Elementary School in Nantou, Taiwan. The friendliness shown by the Taiwanese students warmed the hearts of the Chinese visitors. Governor Liu and Puli student Huang Yixin became good friends.
He asked me what impressed me the most about Sichuan, and I said pandas. He then told me that he'd take me to see the animals when I go to the summer camp in Tianfu town.
2 months later, Huang Yixin and nearly 100 students from Taiwan's quake-affected regions were invited by the Chinese government to visit a Sichuan school. The Taiwanese youngsters were warmly received by Governor Liu himself.
I gave him a wooden stamp holder from Taiwan's Sun Moon Lake, photographs of us in Puli, and also a few boxes of tea.
Moved by the little girl's show of friendship, the governor wrote a letter in traditional Chinese to Huang Yixin to thank and encourage her to study hard.
He says, I hope that children from both sides of the strait will count their blessings, study hard, aim high, and become useful people for society. I'm very moved by the letter because Grandpa Liu is very busy in Sichuan, overlooking important projects, but he still took time out to write to me.
I'm very thankful for Tzuchi for helping bring the children together. I think that youngsters in China or Taiwan may learn in different environments, but they are just as innocent and adorable.
The teachers and students in Puli say that love transcends all boundaries and connects people closely together.
We go to Hsinchu, Taiwan for our next story to meet 60-year-old Yuan Jinhua. The disabled man sells lottery tickets to make a living, making only around $450 a month, which is barely enough to make ends meet. Yet he insists on donating 1/6 of that amount to Tzu Chi to help the poor. Every month he calls the local Tzu Chi liaison office to ask the volunteers to come and collect his donation. He may not be financially well off, but Mr. Yuan is spiritually rich.
The space of cold fronts that has Taiwan in its freezing grip makes going to the outside a biting ordeal. However, rain or shine, for many they still have to go out and make a living, like Yuan Jinhua, a disabled lottery ticket seller who walks for 30 minutes every day to do his business at a roadside spot. Yuan Jinhua makes around $450 each month, which is hardly enough to cover his living expenses, yet he still donates around $70 to Tzu Chi every month. His act of kindness has volunteers worried about his livelihood.
He said business hasn't been good, so I told him to donate less, but he insisted on helping Tzu Chi because the organization provides for the needy. He also said that every time he sells a lottery ticket, he knows that it is for charity.
The 60-year-old vendor became disabled after an accident many years ago. Rather than wallowing in self-pity, Yuan decided to become self-reliant and help others whenever he can.
My donation will help a lot of people. This is the way I show my love to the others. Although I'm only donating $30 this time, it is a gesture from my heart.
Yuan goes on to say that giving away so much money in terms of what he earns doesn't bother him one bit. Knowing that he is a giver makes his job a lot more spiritually rewarding.
Another person who is building up spiritual wealth is volunteer Lin Yang Xiuying from Jiayi in southern Taiwan. If you want to see her, just go to the local Tzu Chi grounds almost any time and she's bound to be there. As well as reporting for duty every single day, she even works from morning until night. Before getting down to sorting plastics and paper, the hard-working volunteer sweeps the grounds. She says keeping the place clean and reducing the burden on the environment also frees her mind of clutter and helped her overcome her love of gambling. Lin Yang Xiuying arrives at the environmental station on a tiny scooter loaded with recyclables before 7 o'clock in the morning. But before she starts sorting the items, she grabs a couple of brooms. The volunteer starts her day by sweeping Tzu Chi's Jiayi grounds in southern Taiwan. Alternatively, using a plastic and a bamboo broom, she makes sure the place is spotlessly clean.
I use a bamboo broom on grass and a plastic broom on concrete.
While tidying up the grounds, Lin Yang Xiuying says she has swept away her old gambling addiction and now devotes all her time to Tzu Chi.
If I didn't come here to volunteer, I'll feel uncomfortable at home. If I come to recycle, it picks up my spirit.
The happy environmental volunteer reports for duty every day, sometimes working from morning to night. Lin Yang Xiuying says to make up for all the time she frittered away in the past, today she does not let a second go to waste. On this day, the 13th of January, Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, released on this day in 1937, was the first animated film to appear in colour. Recognised by the American Film Institute as one of the best American classic films, the movie opened the door for many more animated features to come. The Republic of China's 6th and 7th term president passed away on this day in 1988. Jiang Jingguo's 10 major construction projects boosted the island's economy. He also lifted martial law, allowed family visitations to China and meetings of opposition political parties, ended the National Assembly and liberalised society. 10 Tzu Chi volunteers from Singapore who received their commissionerships in Hualien, Taiwan, started the Tzu Chi Singapore chapter on this day in 1993 and began carrying out Tzu Chi's missions locally. A 7.6 magnitude quake struck El Salvador on this day in 2001, claiming 844 lives and leaving more than 180,000 displaced. On the very same day, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to distribute aid and hold free clinics. Eventually, Tzu Chi would help rebuild schools and homes, starting a relay of love in the Central American country. A tremor measuring 7.0 in magnitude crushed Haiti on this day in 2010. More than 200,000 perished. Tzu Chi immediately mobilized as volunteers from several countries descended to the Caribbean country. Distributions and free clinics were held, and Tzu Chi will continue to help the nation recover. The 7.0 magnitude earthquake that rocked Haiti on January 13, 2010, Taiwan time, was a huge challenge for international relief organizations as the country's airport, seaport and roadways all sustained serious damage which prevented help from getting in. Tzu Chi managed to enter the country through the neighbouring Dominican Republic. Now a year later, Tzu Chi's aid is going on and many local Haitians have joined the ranks of volunteers.
J'aime les enfants en Haïti. Il y a des enfants qui souffrent en Haïti. Cette chanson qui pourrait aider tous les enfants en Haïti.
Tzu Chi's Haiti earthquake relief of 2010 is certainly extraordinary and unforgettable.
Our blood is red. Tout sang nous rouge. That's why we should love each other.
The aid program is considered to be one of the most difficult in Tzu Chi's history. The January 12th quake left the country in a state of anarchy. All supplies had to be brought in from abroad, which mostly arrived from the neighboring Dominican Republic. It is also the first time that the United Nations peacekeeping force had lent its assistance to the Buddhist NGO. As distributions took place one after another, peacekeepers from different countries took turn to maintain order at each handout. Eventually, the remarkable happened: the Chinese force safeguarding the Taiwanese volunteers.
We are here to help you maintain order at the distribution so that the supplies arrive into the hands of each quake victim properly. I'm very touched inside my heart. I think helping people makes you feel happy inside.
The impoverished Haiti has long relied on foreign assistance. The typical commotion and violence that occur at each foreign aid distribution, especially after the quake, is never seen at those handled by Tzu Chi. Because Tzu Chi always delivers the supplies with utmost respect and gratitude, and conveys the message, we care at the same time. Thousands of miles away, one team after another of Tzu Chi volunteers departed from Taiwan to arrive in Haiti. All the while, Tzu Chi's founder, Master Zheng Yan, kept a close watch. The master said Haiti was all she could think of then.
I feel so helpless. I have flown across thousands of miles to get here, but there is so little I can do to help these people.
Since the first relief team arrived in Haiti, until whole relief efforts concluded, the master stayed in touch with the ground team through video conference almost on a daily basis. Most of people in Haiti are Christians. During Tzu Chi's distributions, even Catholic priests can be seen assisting. Tzu Chi's international relief mission has taken volunteers across some 70 countries around the world. As the volunteers serve, those on the receiving end also gain insights into Buddhism and the definition of a bodhisattva. In the eyes of the Haitians, the volunteers were more than just angels, clad in blue and white uniforms, but enlightened ones who have realized life's impermanence and thus vow to alleviate all suffering of the world. Besides handing out supplies, Tzu Chi also carried out numerous free clinics in the quake-torn country. Clarence Consent was troubled by a painful, mysterious disease for 14 years. At a Tzu Chi clinic, Chinese medical doctor Liao Minghuang was able to cure him through acupuncture. In 3 days, Clarence, who could barely walk due to spasms, could now do so without a crutch and even began to run. In celebration, the doctor and the patient embraced each other in tears.
医完这个病人的话，哇，看他从原本不疼到现在。
Tears of joy connect people together without the need for words. In Haiti, it was also the first time for Tzu Chi to employ its adaptation of food for work program, which helped reestablish a balance and a routine for participants whose lives were in disarray after the quake.
Different color, one people, different color, one people.
It has now been a year since the terrible 7.0 magnitude quake, and Tzu Chi continues its Haiti Aid program. In the process, several Haitians have joined the ranks of volunteers. Haiti will take years to recover. One step at a time, Tzu Chi helped the school repair its walls, and another Catholic school its assembly hall. Surely the Bodhisattva's universal love will continue to mend the broken country.
It was Laba festival on Tuesday, which is traditionally the day when the Buddha came to enlightenment. To mark the occasion, volunteers at the Hualien City Hospital cooked 3,000 bowls of Laba congee, the sweet rice porridge dish which you're supposed to eat on the day. Meanwhile, at Taipei City Hospital, senior staff were busy in the kitchen early in the morning, cooking the traditional treat. We went to see what goes inside Laba congee. A mixture of 8 kinds of nuts and dates, including dried longan, red dates, beans and peanuts, cooked together with rice, makes the famous Laba congee.
Today early in the morning, we're making Laba porridge with the volunteers to give to our colleagues. We hope they will enjoy richness and long life and have a surplus every year.
Senior volunteers then take the sweet rice porridge, which is eaten on the anniversary of the day when the Buddha achieved enlightenment, around Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. Meanwhile, on the east coast of Taiwan, volunteers from Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital are serving hot bowls of Laba congee to nursing home residents.
On the day when Buddha achieved enlightenment, we are reminded that we need to show we care.
Volunteers also bring the traditional sweet rice porridge dish to a Buddhist orphanage.
While they enjoy the Laba porridge, we're grateful in our hearts, and they really appreciate it, and we think it has a positive meaning for them.
They then deliver the bowls of congee to the Agape Counseling Center, a halfway house for young offenders. Back in the hospital lobby, there are 2 big pots of congee for staff, patients and visitors to enjoy while celebrating the Buddha's enlightenment. It's never too late to start volunteering, as long as you put your mind to it. Tzu Chi volunteer Lin Pei Chin from Penang, Malaysia, concentrated on her business after getting married. Though her husband and mother-in-law both joined Tzu Chi, she chose to devote her time to her company. It was not until Lin's child attended the local Tzu Chi academy that she realized the value of spending quality time with her family and decided to become a full-time housewife. Since then, Lin has enthusiastically joined Tzu Chi's activities and even signed up for the leadership seminar in Taiwan last year. Here's her story.
In Penang, Malaysia, Lin Pei Chin's husband and mother-in-law joined Tzu Chi, but she remained devoted to running her business after getting married.
I said, if you're going to Tzu Chi, you go. Don't keep asking me, because I don't have time myself. It was only when the time came that I joined.
As Lin's child attended Tzu Chi's kindergarten and later joined the academy, the mother realized that spending time with her children is more precious than anything else and decided to close her business to spend time with her family. With the spare time in hand, Lin Peiqing began to participate in Tzu Chi and even joined the Overseas Leadership Seminar in Taiwan last year.
I saw the master walking downstairs and I couldn't stop crying. I said I want to repent, and if the master is standing in front of me, I will kneel down to apologize. I joined Tzu Chi and the master wants us to become vegetarians. Every time we go to the gatherings, we were taught about vegetarianism but never took on the diet. Seeing Master Zheng Yan, I was deeply moved. I went home and didn't buy meat. I said I want to go on a meatless diet. Side dish vegetarian meals are alright too. When I go to the market now, I don't buy any more meat, only vegetables.
From a businesswoman to now a devoted mother, Lin's husband is happy to see her change.
Before, maybe it was that she didn't know Tzu Chi, so she didn't join. Then slowly she joined and changed a lot. If volunteers or the group leader ask her to help, she will gladly do it. If she's got time, she gets changed and heads out. She loves to help others.
Wanting to make up for the time lost before, Lin Peiqing now seizes every opportunity she has to give and help those in need.
Staying in Malaysia, recently 110 prefects from 6 private Chinese schools, known as Chinese independent high schools, in the south of the country, attended a leadership course where local Tzu Chi volunteers were invited as guest speakers. Through video presentations and a practical lesson on recycling, the volunteers helped the prefects understand the importance of conservation.
40秒。好，你看，开始有同学坐下来了。
This little game, conducted by Tzu Chi volunteers, tests how long a person can hold his or her breath. It aims to underscore the fact that human beings cannot live without the Earth's resources, like oxygen. Students are guided to think about the roles they play in environmental protection.
We go deep into the big bins to salvage things people throw away. For us, recycling work is a show of love for the earth and also a way to find useful resources for needy people.
There was this once when a beverage company came to give us some sample drinks, and we left behind a lot of plastic bottles. I got everyone to help sort and recycle them.
I saw old people and very young children doing recycling work, but not a lot of teenagers like us. I feel a need to change myself and start doing recycling.
The 110 prefects from 6 of the Chinese independent high schools in the south of Malaysia are very moved by the devotion of Tzu Chi's recycling volunteers. These young leaders soon get their own hands-on experience.
Use less serviettes but handkerchiefs instead, and then always have with you reusable tableware.
5 good deeds a day. Yes, I will try and do that. And also go vegetarian for a week.
As representatives of the student body, these prefects are now newly inspired wardens of the planet who are ready to go back to school and rally people's efforts for the sake of the Earth.
Also, for the sake of the Earth, Taiwan's first zero-carbon building was unveiled in Cheng University in the south of the country on Wednesday. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching Dai Headlines. Goodbye.